to silent mode or airplane, right? Whichever works for you. So before the actual panel discussion is going to start, we will have Miss Karen Neri to, she has a slide deck to share about more details about the VU block model and life in Melbourne. So with pleasure, so I'll welcome Miss Karen to share the slides with you first before the panel begins.
Liam, can you hear me? Hi, everybody. My name's Karen Neri. I'm the Director of Transnational Education Partnerships here at Victoria University. It's really great to see so many of you here today. Special welcome to our students who've come from a number of different places today, and of course our distinguished guests and staff of HSB and VNU, and from the high schools who have made a special effort to join us today. I just want to give a very brief introduction of studying here at Victoria University. Can you, next slide please? I have to read everything backwards. Okay, so Victoria University is based in Melbourne, Australia, and we have about 45,000 students. 5,800 of those students are international students who are in Australia, studying with us in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, from about 112 different countries, including from Vietnam. And then we have another 6,800 students who are studying our programs in China, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and now, very proudly, we will be here in Hanoi starting in August this year. Next slide, please. So we have a number of different campuses. In Melbourne, we have 5 campuses. We also have a small campus in Sydney, and we opened a new campus in Brisbane 2 years ago. Apart from that, you will see in the large photo the big tower. That is our newest campus in the city. We call it the City Tower, and that's where our business programs are located, right in the heart of the city. We're very proud of our rankings. So we're in the top, sorry, I'm looking at it backwards, which is why I'm laughing. We're in the top 2% of the world's universities, according to the Times Higher Ed World University Rankings. And the other thing we're really proud of is in the Australian government's official survey of student experience, we are number 1 in Victoria for the entire educational experience, for the quality of the teaching that we provide, and for developing students' skills, as well as for peer engagement. And I think a lot of that is due to our unique curriculum and teaching and learning methodology, which is our VU block model. Next slide. Okay. So I'll talk a little bit about the block model. You've heard some things already. And one thing is that every class is no more than 35, 36 students per class. You'll only be studying one subject at a time. Liam, next. Yep. You'll be studying one subject at a time for a bachelor degree. There are a couple of areas in business and IT at postgraduate level where instead of 4 weeks, you will have an 8-week block and you have to do 2 subjects. But for bachelor degrees, you do one subject at a time. Each semester, you will complete 4 subjects. And that has really helped our students to focus carefully on their content, to build relationships with their teacher, because you only have one teacher as well, and with that small class. So it's very collaborative, very interactive. You do a lot of projects together. You practice a lot of your skills together. During the period that we've introduced the block model, our pass rates have increased, our graduation rate has increased, the average academic grades have increased. So we have more students completing their subjects with high distinction and distinction than before. I'd like you to hear from, I think some of you have already heard this video, but it explains a bit more how the VU block model works. Hopefully, can you play the video?
One of the things I love most about studying at Victoria University is the VU block model. At other unis, you'd usually be studying 4 subjects at once and have all your exams crammed at the end of the semester. But at VU, you study 1 subject at a time in 4-week blocks. It means you can really focus and go deep into each of your subjects before you move on to the next one. So you feel like you can really master your skills and get better results. You're only at uni 3 days a week and for 3 hours each time, which means it makes it so much easier to manage your time, still fit in your work, family, friends, and all those other commitments that we have. It's not just sitting in lecture theatres, you learn in smaller classes so your voice never gets lost in those big crowds. You really feel like you get to know your teacher and your classmates, and so you feel so much more connected. And you get feedback along the way. It's more hands-on and focused on practical skills, and that makes it so much more fun and engaging to learn. So in the end, you get so much more out of your uni experience, and it really does set you up to achieve your best.
Thank you. Okay, next slide, thanks. All right, so the courses we will be offering here with Hanoi School of Business are going to be in undergraduate level. Sorry, Liam, can you, next slide, please. So we will be starting a Bachelor of Business, but embedded in the Bachelor of Business is a Diploma of Business Enterprise. The reason we are doing that is that the Diploma of Business really sets you up for success in your 2nd and 3rd year, particularly if you are studying in your 2nd language. So for that Diploma of Business, instead of 3 hours a week, you'll actually, 3 hours per session, you'll actually have 5 hours. You'll spend a lot more time with your teachers and with your colleague, with your fellow students, learning foundational skills. And, and you will then go on to 2nd and 3rd year of the program. So this is the 24 subjects that you will be studying. As you'll see in that diploma, you have 8 subjects that are foundational. So you have marketing, you have business analytics, you have people and organizations, economics, and a little bit of law. But also you will have, there will be some focus on your career development and your skills that will set you up for learning. So My Business Future, that is about developing your career skills. And in 2nd and 3rd year, that's when you start getting your subjects in marketing as well as in business analytics. All right. And I think in the previous slide, it also showed that you could come and study with us in Melbourne at any time. So you can come for 1 subject, which is 1 month, where you don't need a student visa. Or you can come for 1 semester and you will need a student visa. You can come for 1 year or 2 years. So we will give you the flexibility to transfer at any time and at any point in your studies during the 3 years. Or you can complete everything here in Hanoi, maybe come to us for postgraduate study later. Okay. And if you come to Melbourne, you know that Melbourne is Australia's best student city. We are number 4 in the world in terms of best student cities. We have the most number of international students studying in any city in Australia, they are in Melbourne because we have the best universities too. And you will be able to enjoy our sports culture, our restaurants, our cafes, and lots of different kinds of entertainment. And because you're in the block model, you will also have time to socialise, you'll have time to work part-time if you need to, and study with your colleagues. So we'll encourage you to study with us and either study the whole degree here or come and study part of the time in Melbourne. And I'll end with the voice of one of our business graduates. She was an international student as well. So Liêm, can you play the last video? Not that one. It's at the bottom of the slide. Next slide, that one, yeah.
Hi, I'm Cheshna Balaki. I'm from Mauritius and I studied a Bachelor of Business degree majoring in accounting at Victoria University in Melbourne, Australia. VU introduced the block model teaching method while I was studying, where you study one subject at a time. With the block model, there was the flexibility of choosing between morning, afternoon, and evening classes, and that helped me to balance out my personal, professional, and academic commitments. The best thing about the block model is that the classes are very engaging and more like workshops where you can interact with the students and staff members, which is really helpful and exciting. In the Bachelor of Business curriculum, you get to engage in learning activities that integrate theoretical learning into practical experience, which means everything you learn in class, you get to apply it in the real world. There is a strong focus on developing employability skills that has really helped me to refine my critical thinking, interpersonal skills, and flexibility to adapt. At VU, I had many opportunities to develop my employment experience. I started as an academic student mentor where I was assisting students with their queries on assignments or in any subjects. I was also part of the Student as Partner program as the chairperson, and in my second year I did an internship in the finance team at Victoria University and later secured a position as a finance officer while studying. All these experiences at VU helped me in securing a job in my field immediately after graduating. In fact, I graduated on the 10th of August and started as a full-time graduate accountant on the 11th of August. I'm now working as a junior finance business partner. What I really enjoy about my job is I get to be involved in new projects where I can apply my theoretical learning into practice. I would definitely recommend any new students to join VU and make the most out of all the opportunities available out there to develop their skill set and make themselves future ready for the working environment.
Okay, thank you. So I will hand over to Anthony now.
All right, so we will officially begin the panel discussion. So can we have back the screen of our two lovely speakers from Australia? All right, so to begin, we would like to introduce the list of our speakers and distinguished guests today. So first of all, allow me to introduce myself. So I think all of you have known me, but for the people in front of the camera, at home watching this live streaming, you can call me Anthony. I'm the head of academic affairs of the Hanoi School of Business and Management. And next to me is our lovely Professor Rob Strathy, Executive Dean and College of Arts, Business, Law, Education and IT at VU. And he'll be our chair for today's discussion. Next to Rob, right, it's Mr. Chris Morley, Trade and Investment Commissioner of Austrade in Hanoi, and he is, as Karen already introduced and Mr. Monty has introduced, he's an alumni of Victoria University. And next to Chris is Mrs. Karen. She has already presented the slides. And on the screen here, I don't know which left or right, the lovely lady, we have Dr. Natalia Sadana, lecturer and chair of the Bachelor of Business Marketing at VU's Business School. And next to Dr. Natalia is Dr. Omid Ameri Sianaki, senior lecturer and postgraduate programs coordinator at VU Business School as well. So a round of applause for our lovely speakers, please. Yes, so right now I would like to invite Professor Rob Stradley to direct the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony, and thanks everyone in the room for being here. The purpose of this panel discussion really is to augment or support the words that the party secretary said during his lovely welcome to us. That? Oh, that's better, thank you. Yes, I was saying that the purpose of the panel session really is to breathe life into the words that your party secretary said during his very warm welcome speech to us today. And I'll draw you back to what he said. He said that the purpose of the work that we do here in the university is to nurture talent, to take people and transform their lives. And at VU, that's a key part of what we do every day, and we're extending that promise to you in the room and to others that will join our program. And one of the things that your party secretary drew to our attention was that in nurturing talent, what we're really doing is encouraging people to be future leaders and to be the very best versions of themselves. Now that transformation, if you like, doesn't come about without effort, and the purpose of the panel really is to help you understand how studying in the program will be part of that journey for you to help you be the best versions of yourselves into the future and to help you be future leaders by nurturing your talents. So, part of that trajectory really is to make sure that your degrees are contemporary. And what I'd like to do first up is to ask Omid about, his experience in information systems and business analytics as an educator, and why it is that business analytics has become so critical in today's world. So, Omid, give us your views.
First of all, thank you very much. I just want to check the sound is okay. Yes. Okay, greetings from Melbourne to everyone at Hanoi School of Business. It's a pleasure to be part of this panel discussion today. Thank you very much, Rob, for asking this question that why business analytics become critical today. I think the foremost and very important factor is data explosion. With the proliferation of digital technologies, business now collect vast amount of data from various sources. We have, for example, Internet of Things. Your smart watch, for example, is collecting your bio information about your body, or social media. And we have lots of transactions about the customers' feedbacks, for example. And all of these data helps to business analytics, will support business analytics for like make sense of like this data to have some things to work on as a data. For example, we have a unit in our course that is Big Data and Machine Learning in Business, it's BCO 2009. That in this unit, we address the challenge and opportunity by the massive data sets. And the students will learn how to process, manage, extract the meaningful insight from this big data by machine learning techniques. The second factor, I think, is competitive advantage. The companies that can analyze data effectively gain insight faster than the competitors, and these allow them to innovate, optimize, and have better serve to customers. Again, we have a unit that, for example, predictive analytics, that this unit equips students with ability to forecast future trends and outcomes. The third factor regarding that, why the business analytics become critical today, I think is informed decision making, decision based on a real-time data rather than, for example, intuition. That this will help to more accurate, again, prediction, reducing risk and improving outcomes. The other factor is cost reduction and efficiency. The analytics will identify inefficient and area of cost cutting, optimizing operation, and across different industry, for example, logistics, manufacturing, finance. And the last factor that I can address is regulatory compliance. The analytics will help business to stay compliant with data privacy law, and providing a structured, auditable insights into their operation. And I think these 5 factors that I mentioned will help that, will make the business analytics more critical today. Yeah, thank you very much. This is my answer for this part of the question.
Well, that's fantastic and very interesting. So what you're saying then is that this data explosion, unless companies grapple with that, understand that they won't be competitive in the environment going forward. Look, I wonder if you could, perhaps give us an example that people in the room might be able to relate to. Now, many of the people in the room are younger and are contemplating tertiary, university study. What would be a pretty good example of the way in which perhaps data that they've created that might be used by companies in the way you've described?
Yes, thank you very much. That's a very interesting question. For example, every one of us know for example, Netflix, Amazon, and we have a recommendation system. In one of the aspects of analytics, business analytics, that help for example, the company to make them, for the customer, make them personalized experience. We have it in, for example, Netflix. And also improve strategic decision making. This is very important that these days when you have data, we have a data-driven insights. I think that is a very important aspect. And in regarding to the marketing, there are many examples. For example, customer target, improve customer experience. Because by predictive analytics, that again, we have a unit for that the students will get that skills. We have in marketing, we have a customer segmentation. This predictive analytics can help the company to segment the customers effectively and also to understanding the customer needs, that's my answer for now. And there are more, for example, in innovation, insights drawn from data can help to many more innovative application. And I think this is something that everyone can see that every day thousands of applications comes to market and we enjoy using them, and with them the life is very easy. For example, the app that translates things. If you want to go to the foreign country that you don't know the language, that application, many applications, they can help you to manage your travel without any problem. All of them is the backbone of such application is data, and this data driven, and of course the analytics will help such applications to run and to be created, and they are based on the big data. For example, this ChatGPT that many of us know and we are using, this generative AI, ChatGPT is one of them that is based on large language model. Now you know that how it's helpful, and I don't need to give an example because I'm sure that everyone touch it and they know that what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so what I've heard you say then is that, with this data explosion, companies are trying to harness every possible piece of information that people are utilising in their consumer life cycle, if you like, so that they can improve both the way in which their product supports consumers and in order to drive growth in their companies. Now, it's one thing to get a better understanding of the way in which consumers are engaging with your products, be it Amazon or Netflix or a whole range of services. The companies also, if they want to survive, have got to take those insights and spread them to wider audiences. And I'll turn at this point to you, Natalia, because it's one thing to, as I say, to gain better information about your product, but in what ways can businesses harness digital marketing strategies to improve their impact?
Thanks, Rob. Ciao, boy, THİO. I hope I didn't mispronounce that, actually. So a business can actually technically survive without a digital marketing strategy, because traditionally it did, but it is unlikely to grow or thrive in today's competitive and digital-first environment. So, give you examples of brands like Tupperware, including Tiffany, and they sort of survived with minimal marketing. And these are exceptions, but they sort of relied on unique circumstances, like strong legacy reputations or just being luxury niche products. But however, today's day and age, for most businesses, especially small and medium enterprises, digital marketing is sort of essential to reach broader audiences, compete effectively, and drive growth. So if I had to sort of give you a few key considerations for developing a digital marketing strategy, so your number one point would be to set clear goals. So you define measurable objectives aligned with your business goal. And, from a marketing perspective, it could typically be increasing sales or getting brand awareness. Point two would be understanding your target audience. And as Ahmed really pointed out, it's all about your customer with customer segmentation. So you sort of segment your audience by demographics, interests, and behavior to tailor your marketing approach. Three, you select effective channels. So you focus on what platform your audience is most active. So I'm looking around the room and I can clearly tell you're all very young people. So or platforms like TikTok and Instagram are really sort of your target audience platforms, including email, search engine optimization. Point four would be content strategy. What is the brand how does it create engaging, high-quality content that resonates with your audience and supports your objective? Next, you need to measure performance. You've got all this brilliant marketing plan all set up, and how has it actually delivered on the brand and marketing objectives? So you need to measure it. And finally, how do you adapt to trends? And at the moment, it's all about AI, etc. But is it really imperative for a brand to really conform to that straight away? You need to perhaps stay agile to respond to market changes.
So, you're describing ways in which businesses need to connect with current and future markets, if you like, to understand the groups that are likely to respond positively to their products. Are you able to, given the audience in the room, point to particular strategies that individual companies have used that have been super successful? What are some of the key successes that you could, is there a product, for example?
Yep, so there's a few examples that come to mind straight away, and I'm thinking top of mind brands like Nike did the whole Find Your Greatness campaign. Now that was a very, Nike did a whole Nike Grid. It was an immersive gaming experience. And that was a very sort of British focus, but that was aimed at encouraging young British people to actually run and to be more fit. And that got participants to use a unique code to sort of earn badges and rewards. And I think a campaign that all of you in the room would actually be probably familiar with is all of you know Coca-Cola, right? And so Coca-Cola actually has a Share a Coke campaign, and this has been one of their most successful campaigns to date. So Coke replaced their logo with popular names and bottles, and it encouraged consumers to find their name or a friend. And this campaign actually increased sales by making the product more personal. So another, again, looking at the room, I can clearly tell you all probably love your Red Bulls also. So Red Bull had the whole Stratos campaign, and that sort of sponsored, your typical Red Bull Formula One drivers, record-breaking space jump, that sort of catapulted it into a compelling story. So these are just top-of-mind examples, Rob, that I can think of from a successful marketing perspective.
Oh, thank you. So look, I mean, there's obviously, it seems in my mind, there's obviously a connection between business analytics and digital marketing, because as you progress, you're going to want to know the impact of your marketing, for example, and even before that, you're going to want to know where you should target your interventions. So it's a really nice combination, the two majors that we have on offer here, and you've done a great job describing the value add that they provide. We're just going to take a moment here to see if there are any questions in the room for you from people who have an interest.
So we are taking questions from the audience. I'm expecting my students to ask something. Oh, we have one at the corner there. So you can stand up and introduce about yourself before you start asking questions, okay?
Okay. Hello, I am Chúng. I'm come from MIT major and class MIT 4. So I have a question for you. Is what kinds? What types of jobs I can get after graduating?
All right, Omid, Natalia, who wants to go?
In terms of jobs from a marketing, because I'm going to speak very heavy marketing, you could get a job in marketing companies or in advertising, right? So we offer a whole heap of marketing advertising programs. So you could probably get a job, your first go-to will be digital marketing companies. You could be a digital marketing specialist. And within that, you've got, you could be a social media campaign manager, perhaps. You could just get a whole digital marketing specific role. And you could even get a bit broader. And if you get into like a marketing position or a brand position, that's also pretty helpful when you get a marketing major. Ahmed?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Natalia. Regarding the business analytics, if you look at the units set that we provide for these specializations, every unit can touch one or two job title, and any title that comes with analytics, you can get it. For example, we have like a business analysis, that is the first one that is very popular and very high demand. The data scientist is a project management for AI-based applications that, again, it comes with different title. For example, one of the term is product owner. You can apply for such job as well, that is in leadership and in project management level, and you have such unit there. And you know that because it's such a domain is growing very fast, the new job title comes to market. For example, prompt engineer. You've never had such like a title maybe 1 year ago. But nowadays we have like a job title, prompt engineer, that is very high demand. And I can guarantee that the specialization design in a way that we are having a range of the jobs that the students, the graduate can apply. And I have to say that we have a partnership with Microsoft about these specializations. And our students, when finish these specializations, they can sit for 3 Microsoft certificates that will help them to apply for and be in better position for among other applicants when they apply for a job.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Are there any other questions? All right. Well,
Okay. One more, I think.
one more. Okay.
One more.
First of all, I want to thank for the meaningful sharing. I want to introduce about myself. My name is Ming. I'm from MIT 4. And I have 2 questions for you. First of all, it's about are there any scholarship available? And the second question is, can I continue studying for a master degree? Thank you.
Well, I can answer that. There aren't scholarships necessarily available, but we do have various schemes we offer from year to year that offer special prices, and that becomes a scholarship in its own right. So we're really, really keen to host, students in Australia, and I think if you compare our tuition costs to other institutions, you're getting pretty good value for what we charge. In terms of postgraduate opportunities, well, certainly there's a wealth of courses that you can take in Melbourne. But as well as that, you're welcome to come to Melbourne during your studies and have a taste of what it's like to live in Melbourne by taking a block. That's one of the the block model has a lot to offer. And one of the things, it's not the best thing, but it's certainly a good thing, is that study abroad option where you can go to Melbourne for 4 weeks and study the same unit that you would be studying here is a nice aspect of the program. All right, so that's a useful segue to you, Anthony. Now, this has a couple of parts to it, this question. So the first one is really around, in your experience and the wealth of experience that you have, to what extent do you think businesses rely on business analytics for decision making?
So it's a good question. So for an overview of upcoming lecturers from Victoria University and the panel. So Vietnam in the ASEAN region has been at the forefront of digital transformation. I mean, in certain areas, not all, but we are proud that we are one of the top leading countries in the region in terms of our efforts in providing internet coverage, 5G, high-speed internet, and also the infrastructure for digital transformation. And in terms of companies, we have what people call unicorns in these areas. So recently, a very young company has been sort of asked by the government to lead our efforts in designing a Vietnam-made blockchain for the country. And that company, if I remember correctly, is called One Mount. It's a very young company, but they're developing, and that is just one to show the fact that on the business landscape, especially startups, we are having a lot of companies. And recently, on a recent trip to Oxford, I have the privilege to meet some of the what we call returning Vietnamese from overseas. So there's one guy from Texas. He's setting up a company in Ho Chi Minh City to do what he was describing as an AI automated service for in-game advertisement. So I guess it rings a lot of bells with what we are doing at the moment with the start of the programs. And also, for the matter of fact, we have our own marketing and communication program, and the graduate recently, I have speak to them and some of the companies that hired our graduates. And what I have discovered is marketing skills is just one part of the story at the moment. So big companies, e-commerce companies in Vietnam like Shopee and Lazada, they're also famous in Malaysia, is requiring marketing students to learn about SQL or other analytics tool. So I think it's becoming a necessity for students to learn interdisciplinarily, right? So this program will be a good match for what we are striving for, providing the workforce for not only digital startups, but also other established companies that is requiring this type of, young talents.
So you've described an emerging context which is pretty supportive of the skills that are being produced as part of this degree. Can you tell me a little bit about what the Vietnamese government might be doing in terms of how it's supporting this digital revolution?
Yes. So speaking from the policy side and also our government efforts, so recently our party leaders have released the resolution 57. So that marked a milestone in confirming our country's efforts nationwide about AI, semiconductors, digital transformation. That is what this program is about. And from the recent merger of the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Science, it also shows that we place very strong emphasis in new, especially digital technologies, right? So, and also I think we are on track to setting up a lot of funding from the government and also from the private or PPP partnerships to support this kind of initiatives.
So when Henry Ford first built the Ford motor car, he said you can have any colour you like so long as it's black. Right? So Vietnam is an emerging powerhouse in the region. It's a massive population. It's highly innovative. It wouldn't be a place where I would have thought that that digital marketing would have been foremost in people's minds. But clearly, as you emerge into a modern economy, digital marketing is going to be part of the future. What do you think?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's luck or not, but digital marketing really took off during the COVID period, right? So during that period, marketing was the king. So everyone can stay at home and do live streaming, selling stuff on e-commerce platforms and stuff like that. And after that, we have an explosion of students that are interested in marketing, especially digital. So I think it has emerged really strongly, and companies now are very frequent with the terms digital marketing in terms of their allocation for funding in their strategy, also in their search for human resources and talents. Yeah, so that is what I have gathered from, of course, my personal understanding, and also our network of alumni, which is 13,000, and all of them is having some sort of digital marketing, either as a separate department or very specialized personnel in terms of that.
So really what's coming through for me from the discussion thus far is that, digital marketing and, the understanding what decision-making consumers are engaged as through that data analytics piece are two sides of the same coin. It's almost as if, it is an interdisciplinary area in its own right. I'm going to come to you now, Chris, because, according to the little bio note here, you've got responsibility for supporting just about every sector that Australia has an interest in Vietnam. So, the question for you goes a little bit to what one of the participants or the guests up there asked around the employability piece, really. But, in your experience, what is the role of business analytics and digital marketing in entering and growing new markets here in Vietnam?
Thanks, and good afternoon. Hope you're all very well, and thank you all for coming today. I think it's wonderful to see such a great turnout for this very special day. I think we've heard from Ahmed and Natalia on some of the theory and some of the practical examples of how we use it. And when we look at an emerging market like Vietnam, and I'm really lucky to have lived here for 2 years, and I'll be here for another 2 years, and I'm loving Vietnam. Tôi yêu Vietnam. Thank you. Tôi nói một chút tiếng Việt, okay? No more. It's okay. Come on. Okay, so basically when we have a market like Vietnam where you have a population of 100 million, but the median age is 32. And so it's a young, emerging population that's grown up in a digital-first way. I mean, everyone here has probably touched their phone 20 times in the past, 1 minute. So at your fingertips, you have access to the whole world. But you're also giving out a lot of information to that whole world. And I think others sort of articulated how that becomes a powerful tool for a marketer or a company to understand what your buying preference is, what your taste preference is. And so what this presents is a lot of opportunity for Australian exporters to really understand Vietnamese consumers before they even come into the market. And we used to do some very basic research to help Australian exporters go to a market, very high level sort of socio-economic data. This is the population size, this is the average GDP, this is sort of how consumers will shop and how they'll spend. But now we can go so much further than that and actually present a real, live business case study and say, your main shoppers are this age, they live in this area, they generally buy online between 6 and 7 o'clock at night, their flavour profiles are blah, blah, blah. And so this becomes, really powerful for Australian exporters who want to come to Vietnam, and we're able to sort of help, make them more efficient and make them more effective. And to some of the examples that Natalia and Ahmed shared, make it more personal too. And I think in this very competitive environment that we find ourselves in consumer products, that's such an important connection to be personal. And to do it in a quick way, I think goes a long way to securing success. So from an Australian government point of view, we help a lot of Australian businesses before they even come to Vietnam to understand the market and to really make sure that they're not wasting their time or their money or their effort. and to think about what new products they can do. And I think if you look at some of the Western products that have come to market and have changed their flavour profile or have added a new flavour profile to meet their target market, it's been a great example of how they've understood, you know, business analytics and how they've understood marketing to present to the consumer. And just one other point on emerging markets like Vietnam, it's growing up very, very quickly. Emerging markets often avoid the mistakes that developed markets have made. So if you look at something like, and this was really interesting for me when I first came to Vietnam, the use of QR codes for peer-to-peer payments. You know, we don't do that in Australia. We all have credit cards. You know, I've got like 6 or 7 of the plastic, you know, fantastic in my wallet that I don't use very often up here. You know, now that I have my temporary resident card and I have a bank account and I'm using the QR code like everyone else, and it's fantastic. You know, but Vietnam has sort of jumped over the credit card. You don't need. You've got your mobile phone that you're all touching now, and on that you can pay anyone in the world. You know, I pay the banh mi lady every lunchtime. I pay my hairdresser. I go to the supermarket. And it's just wonderful. It's convenient and it's quick and it's safe. And that's, I think, an example of where an emerging economy, an emerging market can sort of leapfrog, you know, developed market mistakes or things that would slow us down, that you now have something that works so well. And we don't have QR codes in Australia for payment.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, we're sort of shaking our heads wondering how it works, you know.
I'll give you a demonstration later. Actually, I'll give you my QR code and you can pay me. How about that?
So look, we heard earlier that it wasn't that long ago you were a VU student yourself.
Not long ago.
Not long ago. Can you say a few words about you know, your experience in VU and how it set you up for where you've come today?
Yeah. Look, if I'm really honest, today is actually quite a special day. I was thinking about this last night. You know, VU was a really important time of my life for 4 years. I didn't fail. The course is 4 years. I want to stress this. I was there for 4 years, didn't fail anything. But it was such an important time for me. And today's actually really special to be living here in Vietnam and be a graduate of VU and to see VU here and all the work you've done. You know, it's a great partnership. And if I can give a special shout out to Chi Hien Lei for all her work with me in the embassy on putting this all together. Well done, Hien. So yeah, today is actually quite, I feel really, really special to be here, and I'm so glad I can be. But I was back in Melbourne in December, went home for Christmas, and I drove past my old campus, Footscray Park. My God, you've spent some money there. Wow, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
It's such a modern facility. You know, what we had, I don't want to say 20 years ago, it was
Let's
pretty
say
good.
there have been some improvements.
It's improved a lot. I think the way you've spent money on that campus particularly is really, really great. But overall, my experience, and I used to get the train to Vic Uni, and I'd get off at Footscray train station. And that's where my experience, I think, with University really started. Footscray is a great suburb of Melbourne. It has a thriving Vietnamese community. So you get off the train, and straight away you can see banh mi, you can see pho, you can see all these shops of Vietnamese culture. And not just Vietnamese, a lot of other multicultural shops and businesses there. And so to walk the 10-minute walk up through Footscray to the university, that was kind of my first immersion in campus life, because when you're at university, you kind of spill out from the university itself a little bit, and you do go shopping in Footscray, and you do go get lunch with friends and go to the cafes and things like that. So I think it's really important, the welcome that you'll feel in Melbourne, but also particularly in a suburb like Footscray. We have a thriving Vietnamese community there. One thing I loved about VU was the student life, and the student union were really active. There were so many events. You know, each lunchtime we had a comedian, we had a band, there was an art show, there was this other sort of competition. There was like a run around the campus and find different things, and you had to get a prize at the end. There was always something happening. In between all that, you go to lectures. But the fun stuff we had on campus was so good. And I've still got mates, you know, friends that I went to university with, and you know, we catch up. And I can't wait to actually tell them about today, because it's very cool. So my advice would be throw yourself into all aspects of university life, into campus life. join the clubs, join the social clubs, go to all the activities, even if you're like 50-50, do I want to go, not go? Just go. Go and experience it. And if you don't like it, you gave it a go and you learn. But chances are you might like it. One thing I really loved was I played university games. So, we played football for Vic Uni, and we went up and we're part of a big university sporting tournament. And it was 1 week of just so much fun, just playing sport with all other, young university students. So my advice would be, if you can get to study in Australia, amazing opportunity for you. Don't leave anything behind. Take all the opportunities. And if you study here in Vietnam as well, same attitude. Don't die wondering. Don't have any regret. Try and get involved and immerse yourself in campus life. Universities are great places. So enjoy.
All right, well, that's a nice endorsement. And we'll just pause here. We're going to take about 5 or so questions from around the room. And then we're going to return to the panel for one last comment, and then we'll have you out of the building. So we're just getting towards the final stages here now. So I understand there are a few questions out there. So who would like to go first?
I think I have a question from one of our lecturers.
Hello, good afternoon. I am Emmanuel Plan. I'm a member of the Faculty of Non-Traditional Security. Hello to our lovely guests from Australia. Are you okay? I hope so. Okay, so I have 2 questions, and I'm speaking on behalf maybe of some students who might be afraid to ask the question. And the question is, how difficult would it be? The major is double major in marketing and business analytics. And I'm a faculty of data analytics, and I have talked with some students from marketing. Some of them don't like mathematics. Some of them don't like coding. And then I know I teach a lot of students in technology. Some of them are very extrovert, and some of them, can I just stay in my little corner? And I don't want to talk. But then I can see from the program, it seems to be a well-rounded program. It's a holistic program. So I may want to ask on behalf of our students, for those who want to transfer from their current program to this double program, or perhaps for our little brothers in high school who want to prepare for their university program, how difficult could it be? What things do we want to prepare before we embark on this journey?
So look, I'll have a crack at answering that, because I don't think there's the time here to talk about individual units.
Of course.
At a high level, this program is about opportunity and success. It's about nurturing that talent. So we want you to be successful. We're not trying to stop people from being successful. And you can see that from the data that we are very good at helping students to be successful. Pass rates under the block model are very high. So most students are successful, and you can take comfort from that. We want you to be successful, and most students are successful. Now that's half the answer. The other half of the answer is that we're not going to not challenge you, right? So about, if you want to be transformed as a person, then you have to put yourself out there, and we will help you be the best version of yourself. So, you're not going to be able to hide in a corner of a classroom. You will in some units, but you will also be expected to participate and to present and develop skills that, you don't know that you have, or things that you're afraid to do. We all have those things in our lives where things we don't like doing that we know we should, and through practice we can improve. So the key takeaways are, most students are successful, and we want you to be successful, but you will have to change too, and we will help you to be the change that you want to be.
Thank you very much.
Right. Can we have a question from a high school student.
Okay, so hi, I'm Ngọc Quay and I'm from the name of my high school is High School of Education Science, and through this conversation, I very interested in marketing major, yeah, and I want to ask about the job opportunities when I have done this curriculum in school.
So look, I think we had a similar question early on, and you know that was answered online. And let me just see if I can summarise that, you know, Natalia, if possible. Firstly, marketing is a very diverse area, and so within that you have specialisations. You can be in charge of digital marketing, for example. You can be in charge of product awareness, or you can be in charge of a whole range of different aspects. But perhaps, Natalia, you can give us a brief answer on that again.
Yep, absolutely, Rob. And hello, I do hope you take up the course as well. And so with marketing, you can get a digital marketing role in a digital marketing agency. You could actually also get a digital marketing role in a regular marketing agency. So it doesn't only have to be a digital company. You could actually get a regular marketing role in a company, a brand. You could actually get an advertising role as well. So in some of my marketing students, actually, they say to me that they like a lot of advertising as well, so they can get into advertising. You can actually even do marketing research if you really are passionate about finding out more about consumers. So it's a huge, broad sort of landscape, to be honest. So
thank you.
Okay. So he's a marketing student, right? So maybe we have some insight. Introduce yourself and ask the question.
Good afternoon, everyone in the WhatsApp hall. My name is Ling. But you can call me Christian. It's my English name. And so, first of all, I'm really glad and pleased to be here with you guys. Thank you guys to take your time with me and to all the students here. And this question of mine is a little bit out of context. So I have a question. She is currently studying in Long Island, New York. And so a few days ago, we have a conversation that she said that she really missed home here in Vietnam, because now she had to, study in a new country, and she had to taking care of things on her own, and the expensive is really high there. In New York, everything is gonna happen. Yeah, and so what it is related to my question? Well, so it was about this study opportunity, and I want to ask about if there is any possibility that in the future, maybe in Victoria University, or maybe in university in Australia, can we have some type of homeschooling? Like maybe I'm a student here in Vietnam, but I want to to take a program in New Zealand or in Australia or something like that. Is there any way that I can I don't have to travel all around to Australia? I don't have to meet up my professor. I mean, like I can meet them on Zoom or in Meet or any kind of of the meeting programs to to talk to them, to study face to face. But I don't really necessary to be studied there.
So can I summarize? You want to ask about transfer opportunities, right?
Yes, sounds
Okay,
good.
okay. So to keep it short for everyone, right? Okay, thank you.
So,
I think the question. Is this working? I think the question was about studying in Australia or studying online with Australian lecturers. I can't remember. Just transferring, yep. So you can, when you're studying our program here, you can also transfer for some of the time to Victoria University. So you can just come for 1 month and do one subject, or you can come for 1 semester and do 4 subjects. So you have that flexibility to transfer, or to do 2 years here and then 1 year there, and maybe continue to do postgraduate. So you have those links. Now, I've spent a lot of time in New York, and when I go there, one thing I have trouble finding is good Vietnamese food. But if you come to Melbourne, you will not miss Vietnamese food. We have Vietnamese, a very heavy Vietnamese presence in Footscray, where one of our campuses is. We have another suburb called Richmond, where there's a whole street, maybe about 30 or 40 Vietnamese restaurants. So we even have Vietnamese coffee shops. So I don't think you'll miss Vietnamese culture so much. We have a lot of students who are from Vietnam, but also from many other countries. So that's the one thing, if you come to Australia, you'll meet students from, and make lifelong friends from students from other countries as well as from your own country and from Australia, of course.
And, you know, being a New Zealander, I did hear the word New Zealand in your question. And, you know, universities in New Zealand and Australia participate in a global education market. And if you wanted to go to one of New Zealand's fine universities, that university would look at the study that you have done, seen that you have completed part of an Australian qualification, and give recognition for that study as part of, you know, studying in New Zealand, which is, like Melbourne, it's a great place to go. We, of course, hope you come to Melbourne, but if you go to New Zealand, I'm okay with that too, you know.
As an Australian government representative here, I don't endorse those comments. Study in Australia. Thank you.
All right. No, fair enough. No competition. All right, so we're going to go around the panellists now, and we're going to get them to highlight the one thing of the discussion that they think is the most important takeaway for you. And let's start online. Let's start with you, Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. That was a great session. I really enjoyed it. We talk about the importance of business analytics, and for sure, this is the future. This is the future course, career skills that not only the students should take those skills, but I think everyone in any career at least should know a little knowledge about the analytics these days. Regarding the question that you asked about how hard is mathematics or is the specialization that I have, I am telling you that this is our art. You know, this is our art, that how to deliver hard subjects in a fun and very amusing way. And yes, I hope that we see the students and we contribute to your knowledge and work together. Thank you very much, Rob.
All right,
and everyone.
Just one sentence. The key takeaway. Can you?
The key takeaway for this meeting is that we are dealing with the young generation, and we are expecting to meet you and to enjoy together in this journey.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Natalia, one sentence, the key takeaway.
Yep. By mastering both business analytics and digital marketing, students will be well positioned to tackle complex business challenges, drive strategic solutions, and stand out in a competitive job environment. So thank you for
that was a
having
great
us and good luck
sentence.
with your
Well done.
topic.
Woo. All right, Anthony, can you match that? The key takeaway.
Tough to match, but I would say that join the program that combine international and Vietnamese perspective. That will be beneficial for everyone.
All right, Chris.
This course didn't exist 20 years ago, and you guys are going to shape the future of how we look at the different data sets that are coming out and how we start to use them. So, I don't feel that old, but sometimes hearing all this stuff around the room makes me feel a bit old. But it's your future, and you're here on the cusp of really embracing some cool technology, so take advantage of that.
Well, that's a brilliant statement to end the session. Let me thank you so much for being here today and supporting us. We do hope you join the program.
Before that, I think we would like to ask the audience to have a group photo with the panel speakers, right? To commemorate such a day.
Yeah, come and have a photo.
So can we have a table,
and then you can,
table and chairs away? Right. No, I think we want them to come here and then. Yeah, I know. I think we will move. We'll move, and then the chairs and table will get pushed away, and then they can come. So please come.
1, 2, 3